ask you something, and I want you to actually think about this before you answer, okay? If somebody found your page right now, a complete stranger, never heard of you, just stumbled across your profile, could they tell in under 10 seconds what you're about? Not what your character looks like, not what your lore is, not what your color palette is, what you and your content are about. Because here's the thing, I ask people this all the time, and 9 times out of 10, they can't answer me. Or they do, and they say, no, I couldn't tell you what my content is about. And that's not a them problem, it's a brand problem. And if you can't answer it, neither can the algorithm, neither can a sponsor, and neither can a new viewer who's deciding in 3 seconds whether or not to click follow. So today, we're gonna fix that. We're gonna talk about what a brand actually is, how to find your niche without losing your mind or personality, what kind of VTuber you actually want to be, and how to build a content strategy that doesn't burn you out in the next 6 months. This is the video I wish existed when I started, so let's get into it and let me teach you the way. But first, a real quick word from our sponsor. Does your desk look like a Monster Energy graveyard? Because mine used to. Genuinely, it was a problem. I was running on Crash, Regret, and whatever weird chemical that is in Monster. And then I switched to Gamer Subs. And honestly, it's a game changer. No crash, actual vitamins, 0 sugar, and it comes in flavors that don't taste like My current go-to is Sakura Splash, and I put it in my soda stream because I'm a fancy and I need the carbonation or I'll die. If you want to try it, use code SUCKEGG at checkout for 10% off your order. The link is in the description, and go get yourself something that doesn't make you feel like you're dying. And let's get back to the video. Whatcha? Let's start here because I think there's a massive misconception floating around the VTuber space about what a brand actually is and what it means. A brand is not a logo. It's not a color palette. It's not your OC's lore or your model or your overlay or any of that. Those things are part of a brand, absolutely, but they're not the entire brand. And I see so many people, genuinely talented, passionate people who have spent hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars on beautiful models, gorgeous overlays, a whole lore document, maybe even a video, and then wonder why they're not growing. And then I look at their page and I think, okay, visually this is gorgeous. But then I look at their content and I'm like, what's going on? What are they known for? There's a little bit of everything going on. What do they make? What would I come back for? And the answer is, there's nothing clear. Everything and nothing at the same time. Here's how I like to think about it. Your brand has 2 sides. There's the visual identity, so what things look like, the colors, the model, the overlay, the thumbnails, the consistency across your socials. And then there's the content identity, what you're actually known for, what you make, the vibe that is exuded when people are in your streams. You need both. And most people only have one or the other. I've seen pages that are visually stunning, genuinely. The branding is actually gorgeous, but there's no content identity to back it up. And I've seen the opposite as well. Somebody who makes amazing content, so funny, so entertaining, so amazing, but their socials look like a ransom note and nothing matches. And it's the nightmare. It looks like a Reddit nightmare. You need both sides working together because your visual identity is what makes someone stop scrolling, but your content identity is what makes them stay. And here's the part that really gets people. Your brand isn't what you say it is. It's what people experience when they interact with you. It's the feeling they get when they land on your page. It's whether or not they can immediately understand who you are and what you have to offer. So let me ask you again, if a stranger landed on your page right now, what would they experience? So now that we've established that a brand is more than a logo, let's talk about the part that makes most people want to close the tab. The niche conversation. I know. The word niche sounds like a prison sentence, especially if you're neurodivergent or have ADHD and you're the kind of person who has like a million hyperfixations at the same time. I get it. I'm that person. My brain is just a chaotic little goblin that's just like, I understand. So trust me when I say having a niche does not mean being boring. It doesn't mean locking yourself into a box forever. It just means giving yourself an identity. Think about it from a viewer's perspective. If you follow someone, you're making a decision. You're saying, I want more of this specifically in my life. But if you don't know what this is, you can't make that decision. You can't follow an energy. You have to follow a being, a person. So here's the formula that I usually use, and I think it's simple enough that you'll be able to figure it out today for yourself. 1, Pick one live service or regularly updated game. Something that has consistent content, consistent updates, consistent community conversations, something that you can always come back to and make commentary on. Pick one genre that overlaps with that game now. So let's say your game is Path of Exile, like mine is. Your genre might be Souls-likes and ARPGs, or Souls-likes and MMOs. If your game is Final Fantasy XIV, your genre might be MMOs and story-driven RPGs, or MMOs and JRPGs. It doesn't have to be a perfect overlap, it just has to make a bit of sense. You don't want to be playing Doom one day and then be playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure the next day. Then, finally, pick one thing that you could genuinely yap about for hours. Not something that you think you should talk about, something that you genuinely love with your entire heart. Weaponize your autism, folks. For me, that's content creation, algorithms, VTuber tips, also Resident Evil and roller coasters, but that's besides the point. I will talk about this stuff until someone physically removes me from the conversation. And that's it. That's the formula. One game, one genre, one yap topic. And suddenly, you've picked a lane while still having multiple cars in play. I hope that makes sense. Now, here's the thing about finding that yap topic specifically. The best way I know to find is to think about what you're genuinely embarrassingly obsessed with in real life. Not your hobbies, I'm talking about hyperfixations. Something you could talk about for 3 hours and you wouldn't even notice time passing. Maybe it's, I don't know, the breeding cycle of a specific moth. Maybe it's the lore of a game nobody else plays. Maybe it's competitive Pokemon IVs. I don't know. Certain horror movies, whatever you want. It doesn't matter how niche it is. In fact, the more specific, the better, because specificity is what makes content feel like it was made for someone instead of just for the algorithm. And when people feel like content was made for them, they end up sharing it and cherishing it. So do a scuffed PowerPoint about how moths breed. Make a video about the thing that nobody else is making videos about and put your passion on the screen and let people feel it, because people will always, always show up for genuine enthusiasm. You just have to know how to package it correctly. Okay, so now you have a brand concept and you have a niche direction. But before we start talking about your content strategy, we need to think about something else that a lot of people skip entirely. What kind of VTuber do you actually want to be? In my opinion, there are fundamentally 3 different types, and knowing which type you fall into really helps build your content strategy, your schedule, your revenue, everything. So let's go through them and see which one fits you best. The first type is the digital influencer. This is the VTuber who lives primarily on Twitter and Shorts platforms. Their main focus is sponsorships, brand deals, functioning like a traditional IRL influencer, but with an avatar instead of a face. They might stream occasionally, but streaming isn't their primary thing. Their primary content is their social media presence and their brand partnerships through that social media. If this is you, your growth strategy will look very different from a traditional streamer. You're going to be optimizing for reach and impressions on social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And you're thinking about follower counts, engagement rates, and how your content performs across platforms. You're essentially running a media brand as opposed to being a streamer. Speaking of streamers, that's the second type. This is the VTuber whose whole world is Twitch. They've grinded, they've put in the hours, streaming is their primary income, their primary community, their everything. They might clip content from other platforms, but the stream is the main event. And look, there's nothing wrong with this. Some of the most successful VTubers in this space are purely streamers. But it is worth noting that this is one of the harder paths because Twitch discoverability is genuinely trash, especially when you're small. You're relying almost entirely on your existing community and external forces to grow that community, which is a very slow process. The third type, and in my opinion, the healthiest place to be if you want to do this as a full-time career, is a full content creator. This is someone who does a little bit of everything. Long form, short form, streaming, multiple revenue streams from multiple places. They're not putting all of their eggs in one basket. If Twitch has a bad month, you still have YouTube. If YouTube has a bad month, you still have sponsorships. If a sponsorship falls through, you still have community subscriptions. This is the model that I operate on, and let me tell you, it's a lot more work, but it is also the most sustainable and realistic when you are a full-time content creator and need the financial stability long-term. So, which one are you? And more importantly, which one do you want to be? Because that answer to the question should be shaping every decision that you make about your content. All right, so you know what your brand is, you know your niche, you know what kind of VTuber you want to be. Now let's talk about what you're actually making, because this is where I see people fall apart. Not because they don't have good ideas, but because they don't have a system to keep it sustainable. They're just posting whatever feels good in the moment, and then they burn out and go quiet for weeks and then come back apologizing and do it all over again. Sound familiar? Yeah, that's me. Also, I've been there. Most of us have. So here's the system I use. I call it 3 content boxes. Every piece of content you make should fit into one of these 3 boxes. Box 1. Retention content. This is the content your current audience already loves. It's the stuff that they showed up for. This is your bread and butter, your comfort zone, the content that keeps your existing community happy, engaged, and coming back. This is very important because it's easy to get so focused on growth that you forget about the people who are already present, and your current audience is your foundation. They're the ones who share your content, who bring their friends, who show up to your streams. You must take care of them. Retention content will obviously look different for anyone. So for me, it's my VTuber tips content and my reaction streams. For you, it might be a specific game series or a recurring segment or a type of video your community has come to expect. Whatever it is, just keep making it consistently. Box 2, experimental content. This is the outside of the box stuff, the things that you want to try that you're not sure will work, the ideas that feel a little risky or a little weird. And here's the thing, experimental content might not perform well, and that's okay. That's kind of the point. You're not making it because you know it will work. You're making it because you want to try it, because you're curious and you're a creative person, and creative people need to experiment. Experimental content is also how a lot of people go viral. The things that blow up are almost never the safe, predictable content that you make. They're the weird ideas that somehow connect to people in a way that you never expected. So give yourself permission to try things that might fail, because you never know if they're gonna pop off. And box 3, growth content. This is your evergreen content. Educational content, guides, tutorials, information videos, stuff that will keep pulling in views long after you post it because people are still searching for it. Reactions fall into this category as well. Think about it. Someone is going to search how to get sponsors as a small VTuber 6 months from now, the same as they are a year from now, 2 years from now, etc. If you've made that video, it's still going to keep working for you, and it's still going to keep bringing in new viewers. It's still going to grow your channel even while you're napping. Growth content is also things like reaction content to popular creators or topics, commentary on things happening in your specific niche space, anything that taps into existing search traffic or communities. You need all 3 boxes, ideally, for a healthy content routine, not just the safe stuff, not just the experimental, not just the growth, all 3 in rotation working together. And here's the reality check that I like to give people when they come to me for advice. I'll look at their pages and they'll have, let's say 15 to 20 average viewers on Twitch, which is amazing. And then I'll go check their shorts and they haven't posted in a week and a half. And then I'll check their YouTube and they have like 300 subscribers and 1 video from 6 months ago and they never post. That's not a brand. That's not a content strategy. That is someone who is just streaming to a void and hoping that they grow and wondering why it's not happening. Your brand is not just what happens on stream. It's everything. It's how people see you from the outside. It's your consistency across every platform, whether or not someone can find you, understand you, and follow you in under 10 seconds. So fill the boxes, show up consistently, and make it easy for people to find you. They want to watch your content. They just need to see it. Look, I know we went through a lot today, and I know it can feel super overwhelming when I lay it all out like this, but this is what I want you to take away from this video. You don't have to have everything figured out right now. You don't have to have the perfect niche or the perfect content strategy or anything like that. You just have to start somewhere. You have to be intentional and honest with yourself about what you're building and why. Know what kind of VTuber and person you want to be. Know what you want to be known for and what you're making and who you're making it for. Because the VTubers who make it, and I've watched a lot of them, worked with a lot of them, and have been in this industry for over 5 years now. The ones who make it are rarely the most talented or the most polished. They're rarely the ones with the best models or the biggest budgets. They're just the ones who showed up consistently with intention, with genuine passion for what they were making, and kept going even when the numbers sucked, even when growth was slow, and it felt like nobody was watching. Because here's the truth, there's always someone watching. And the content that you make today is the reason that they're gonna stay 6 months from now. So figure out your lane, show up in it, and make it yours. And if nobody's told you this lately, you can do this. I genuinely believe in you. Go make something. You got this. I'll see you guys in the next one. And don't forget to use code SUCKEGG at GamerSupps for your own delicious treat. Mwah! Bye-bye.